New data out this morning shows how small businesses are feeling in America. The monthly report from the National Federation of Independent Businesses reveals optimism of small businesses rose 2.4 points in July to 99.8. That is well above its 52-year average of 98. But the uncertainty of small businesses also rose 2 points in July to 91. And when we look at some of the driving factors, labor quality and availability were among the top concerns.
Let's bring in CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Always good to have you on set.
Thank you.
Okay, so you hear the optimism rises, the uncertainty rises, and I think a lot of people go, okay, well, what does that even mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I think optimism, we should just take good news when we have it. We like good news too, right? And this is the highest reading that we've had since August of last year. And I think that there is, sort of generalized uncertainty that we all feel it. Like, you might feel like, hey, I have a job and I'm getting paid and things are going well. But, the war in Iran is still uncertain and gas prices are high. So, we feel this individually. I think that's exactly what small businesses are feeling, which is, hey, yeah, I mean, things are going pretty well and we're making some money and things feel better. But the next phase of what happens in the war and prices and what happens to consumers, we're not so sure about. I did think it was interesting that I looked at one part of this that was the hiring plans are improving for small businesses. And they're saying, hey, we want to hire people. But as you noted in the intro, that they're saying we don't have enough people or the quality of people. And it feels like there's some sort of mismatch there, right? Mm-hmm. We get the jobs report and we say, well, jobs report wasn't so good last month. There were revisions lower. Here we have people saying we want to hire, but we can't find people. So something's going on. Maybe it has to do with immigration. Maybe in these small businesses, they rely more on immigration. I'm not sure, but I sort of get it as a whole picture. Mm.
So, as we said, both labor compensation and capital expenditures rose in July, but actual sales kind of remained flat. What does that mean? Does it mean that, I guess, are small businesses making less money?
Well, we don't know because, they're not going to report in that way. I think they're saying that they may be making do with less, which helps them keep that more money. Let's think of, let's kind of make our own business here. Like the three of us have a business. We own a sandwich shop across from the broadcast center. And we can't hire enough people. We make do with what we have. Sales are okay because here in the broadcast center, we're maybe not be going across the street for lunch as much. But, I don't hire the next person until I'm sure I have more people coming in to buy our sandwiches. So it feels like there is a moment in time here. I'm not sure that any one of these readings tells us a lot, except to say, if you kind of boil it down, the economy is growing. The labor market's stalling out a little bit. It's not terrible. We're not seeing widespread job losses, but companies and small businesses are figuring out how to do more with less. And I think that every time someone retires from a big organization, or I speak to these people all the time on the podcast, they'll say to me, oh, so-and-so left, my boss just left. We didn't hire anybody. They gave me a little bit of a bump to do that job. But you know what? I'm not making as much as the guy who left. And so the company's doing okay. May not be selling as much, but they're still profitable and able to make do. And those are the decisions. We talk about the economy. It feels very esoteric, up in the air. But when you boil it down to those situations, it does start to make sense. Like, I'm not kind of so sure what's going to happen next. I'm only going to hire someone I think is a great fit. I can't find my great fit. I'll do more with less. I'm still making decent money. Maybe we're okay.
Yeah, I think that what you said in the first answer of individually things feel optimistic, but there is kind of this existential uncertainty and anxiety makes sense with a lot of it. I mean, I think about there's also a consumer confidence index very similar to the small business one. And we see it, people are really uncertainty and yet they still continue to spend. When you look at the small business optimism index, do you feel that there's a lot of weight behind it and it is representative of what's going on? Because I think when we look at the consumer one, we're like, yeah, but it's not always how they actually act.
Well, I think that this actually as an index, because it breaks down different aspects of it, I think does actually indicate something. I think that small businesses have been sitting on their hands. They've had quite a lot of challenges. If you think about in the last couple of years to say, there are tariffs. Oh, my God, who gets hurt most with tariffs? These small businesses, right? And the big businesses could absorb it. or even migration and immigration and changes and regulatory changes, those things are better absorbed by large companies. I think these small businesses are actually, like, as a former small business owner, I can tell you, this is what happens. You feel whipped around a little bit. You look at your little business, you're like, I'm feeling okay, but I'm kind of always nervous. And by the way, that is what it is to be a small business owner. Be careful, budding entrepreneurs. It ain't easy.
It's not easy out there in
No.
these streets. Jill Schlesinger, always great to have you, my friend. Thank you.
This Money Watch segment has been brought to you by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything.